I want to give you some revolutionary wisdom based on my experience struggling and organizing and leading for African people. Number one, check your ego. Young African leaders, student leaders, college leaders, high school leaders, young adult leaders, check your ego. If your ego is more important than the people, then you are not serving the people. You're serving yourself. If your ego is more important than the people, you are not serving the freedom struggle. You are worshiping your own personality. One of the greatest contradictions of the global African freedom struggle, one of the greatest contradictions of the global African freedom struggle has been the illusion carried by many Black revolutionaries and leaders and activists, the psychological illusion that they were serving the people when they are really only serving themselves. Too often throughout our history in Africa, in America, the Caribbean, Central and South America, Europe, Australia, study Black leadership from an egotistical perspective. Study the ego of leaders, and you will see that many of our leaders were never about serving the people. They thought they were. Serving the people was a means. Serving the people was only a means towards them fulfilling their own personal selfish agenda. I'll give you an example. In Africa, you have had leaders who claimed to be about the people, but they only used their public office to enrich themselves. They've only used their public office to extend their economic holdings. They only use their public office to help their friends and their families. They might have been good talkers. They might have been intelligent men or women. But guess what? Serving the people was not the goal. Serving the people was the means to the goal. We have American African leaders. At least two of them I could think of off the top of my head. They've been around for a nice amount of time. They don't serve the people. They serve themselves. They have just deluded the people into thinking they serve the people. They have never been about the people. They have been about the worship of their own personalities. Here's the best test of whether or not you're serving the people. Here is the best test of whether or not you are serving the people. And that is when a better person comes along, not necessarily a better leader, but including a better leader. Let's say someone comes along who's a better speaker than you, a better writer than you, a better interviewer than you, a better analyzer than you. Do you give them the ability to use their God-given talents to serve the people? That's the simplest test of whether you are a real leader. A real leader, a real organizer, a real servant of the people does not get afraid, doesn't get fearful, doesn't get jealous, doesn't get envious when someone better comes along. You gladly, assuming they are serving the people and not themselves. But if they are a people servant and not an ego servant, if they are a people servant and not an ego servant, if they are a people servant and not an ego servant, when they come along, you gladly give them the opportunity to lead, to show their skills, to get involved, to organize. But if you are like so many Black leaders we've had around the world, if you are like so many Black leaders we've had around the world, you will sabotage them, you will stifle them, you will slander them, you will undermine them, and you might even kill them. Black leaders have been murdered. In fact, one of the biggest reasons for the assassinations of black leaders, second only to European imperialism. The second biggest reason for the assassination of African leaders around the world, second only to European imperialism, has been the ego of a Negro. That has been the second leading cause of assassination. The ego of the Negro. Which takes me to my next lesson. Make sure you can trust the people around you. Make sure you can trust the people around you. Make sure you can trust the people around you. Because guess what? Being a popular organizer, being a popular activist, and I speak from experience, it's a double-edged sword. It's a gift and it is a curse to be popular. The gift is you can reach the people. The gift is you can inspire the people. The gift is you can serve the people. But you know what the curse is, young brothers and sisters? You want to know what the curse is, young brothers and sisters? The curse is you're going to attract a lot of opportunists. 99% of the people you attract are not there to help you, and they are not there to serve the people. You better understand this right now. 99% of the people you attract are not there to help the people, to serve the people, and they're not there to help you. They are there to help themselves. If I was to run down everybody who has come into my circle, misrepresenting themselves as authentic servants of the people, if I was to literally do a rundown of everyone I've encountered over the past 25 years who have come to me under a disguise of being a people servant, if I was to give you all the phonies, all the fakers, all the haters, all the frenemies, all the opportunists, it would take me a whole year to run down everybody. You better study people. Make sure you know who your ride or dies are. And if you don't have any ride and dies, you better find some. Because you can't do this work without 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people that you can trust. Remember, Patrice Emery Lumumba, the Honorable Patrice Emery Lumumba, was assassinated on the orders of the Belgian government. Patrice Lumumba was stabbed in the back, sabotaged by a man he brought into his government and trusted. Mobutu Sese Seko. Mobutu was groomed by Lumumba, trained by Lumumba, raised by Lumumba, and he stabbed Lumumba in the back, assassinated the man, helped the Belgians assassinate Lumumba. And it was the Belgian government that ultimately oversaw the execution. Patrice Lumumba, although he had millions of supporters, he only had 2 men who went to the grave with him, 2 friends so committed to the liberation of the Congolese family. He only had 2 friends so committed to the liberation of the Congolese family that they went to their death with the Honorable Patrice Lumumba. He was loved by millions, supported by millions, but only 2 of them were courageous enough to stand by Lumumba even until their death. Let me give you a little secret on studying people. Put them to work. Let me tell you a tried and tested strategy for exposing hypocrites in your organization. Let me give you a tried and trusted strategy for exposing opportunists in your ranks. Give them work. One thing about phony people, one thing about opportunists, one thing about agents and infiltrators and provocateurs, they cannot serve somebody they do not believe in. If you have people in your circle who you don't trust, put them to work. Put them to work. A phony and undercover hater, they cannot help you advance your goals. Trust me. Trust me on this. They cannot do the work. They may do it initially. They may do a couple things well, but if you keep them busy with work, sooner or later, they will crack because they are not there to help you. They are there to help themselves. And all you have to do is work them into leaving your organization. They will leave. They will leave. The reason why so many of these phony people survive being around us for so long is we never put them to work. We never put them to work. If you never put them to work, you don't know who's real. The phonies often have high energy in the beginning. The phonies often have high energy. They very dedicated in the beginning. They are very dedicated in the beginning. But let a few months go by. Let a few years go by and they will stop serving you. They will stop serving the people because they're not there to serve the people. They are there for a personal goal to be fulfilled. This is why you have to make sure your organization is not an intellectual masturbation club. If your organization is not about serving African people, if your organization is not about struggling for African people, if your organization is nothing more than an intellectual masturbation club, the haters will prosper. They will grow. They will recruit people in your organization. They will undermine you and they will destroy you. You know why? Because you're not working. You are not serving the people. You have an intellectual masturbation movement. And in an intellectual masturbation movement where people are not expected to do work, they can sabotage, they can undermine, they can infiltrate, they can manipulate because you are not giving out assignments. You are not giving out work assignments. Your organization only exists to come together and talk shit. Your organization only exists to come together and talk shit. 90% of all the Black conscious organizations in the world, in Africa, here in Europe, the Americas, the Caribbean, Canada, and Australia, they only exist to talk shit, for ideological discussion, intellectual debate. There is no work and no serving of the people. If you can't put them to work, you can't test their commitment. If you can't put them to work, you can't test their commitment. If you can't put them to work, you can't test their commitment. Moving on to the next principle. Never let the people in your organization know what you are planning and what you are thinking all the time. If you are a verbally or emotionally undisciplined leader or organizer, you will fail. You will fail miserably and you will fail totally. You must discipline this mouth and you must discipline your emotions. As a good organizer, a good leader, you can never let everybody know how you feel. You can never let everybody know what you think. Some things must be kept close to your chest, because if they know how you feel about everything and everybody, if they know how you think about everything and everybody, they can chess move you in advance. The game of chess is about infiltrating the thoughts. The game of chess is about infiltrating the feelings. The game of chess is about infiltrating the strategy. To be a good leader, you must keep them guessing, even your closest. Even your closest. Because even if your closest is not a secret hater, even if your closest is not a secret hater, even if your closest is not a secret hater, pillow talk has destroyed many empires. Your right-hand man is loyal. Your right-hand man is loyal. Your right-hand woman is loyal. Your right-hand woman is loyal. But guess what? When they go home at night and their husband asks them, how's it going with the organization? When they go home at night and their wife asks them, what's going on with the organization? Pillow talk begins. Pillow talk begins. And guess what? Your right-hand man and your right-hand woman don't even know that their husband, their partner, their mate, their king, their queen has a best friend, a cousin, a brother, an auntie who can't stand your guts. Can't stand your guts. So your right hand is loyal, but your right hand is sleeping with somebody who is a friend of an enemy. Your right hand man is sleeping with someone who is the friend or relative of a die-hard enemy. And this is why you must keep your cards close to your chest. Next point. You must have a relationship with the Creator. All true revolutionary Pan-Africanists must have a relationship with the Creator and a relationship with your ancestors. Your ancestors are here to help you fulfill your destiny on the earth plane. The Creator is here to help you achieve divinity for your works. The ancestors are here to help you with your work. The Creator is here to bless you for obeying the divine decree. You must have a relationship with God, because dealing with our people and dealing with the enemy, dealing with our people and dealing with the enemy is going to challenge your confidence in God, and it's going to challenge your faith in yourself. To really lead our people, you must be inspired by the divine. If you are not inspired by the divine, if you are not led by the divine, you will fail. You will have a psychological breakdown. You will end up a drug addict, or you will fail. You will have a psychological breakdown. You will end up a drug addict, or you will fail. People get on the great Huey P. Newton. People criticize the great Huey P. Newton, who was assassinated the day after my solar return. He was assassinated on August the 22nd. Allegedly, He used narcotics. A lot of black activists became alcoholics and drug addicts because this work of serving African people is one heaven of a work. And if you don't have a spiritual foundation, this work will destroy you. You gotta have a spiritual foundation. You gotta have an ancestral connection. And the next point, which will probably be my last, hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Always hit the Cash App when I go live. Hit the PayPal International Africans. Hit the PayPal International Africans. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. My last lesson, and I gotta go. Choose your mate carefully. Choose your spouse carefully. Choose your romantic partner carefully. You cannot have a big mouth husband or wife. You can't have a jealous, envious, possessive husband or wife. You cannot have a selfish husband or wife. You cannot have a materialistic husband or wife. I should have been married. I should have been married. I should have been had my 2 queens at least 10 years ago. I should have been married. I should have been married. And I got some good prospective sisters, don't get me wrong. One of them is already, I think, guaranteed in the queendom. And I got space for one more. I got space for one more. I got space for one more. But the reason I'm not already married, women talk too much. They don't respect your confidentiality. Women are too jealous and possessive of other women. Nobody wants to come home constantly being accused of being involved with other women who you are not involved with. Nobody, you can't have a jealous woman in this work. You can't have a woman who's not committed to the people. She herself must be committed to the people. Anna Murray Douglas, Amy Jakes Garvey, Coretta Scott King, Winnie Mandela, Betty Shabazz, Myra Lee Evers. If your queen or king is not committed to African people, they don't understand you. You are an alien to them. I've dated women. I was a complete alien to them. They have no love for the people. They have no interest in African liberation. So why would you marry somebody who has no interest in the work that might take your life one day? Why would you settle down with a man or a woman who has no interest in the work that may very well take your life one day? You gotta have a good mate. You gotta have a good mate. When Marcus Garvey died, Queen Mother Amy Jakes Garvey kept the work going. When Nelson Mandela died, although they were divorced, Queen Mother Winnie Mandela continued to serve the people. You don't want no woman as soon as you die, they go marry a bourgeois Negro. Because you're going to attract women who want status. Women are attracted to power and status. Don't assume because they like you, they care about your work. They care about the power you have. They care about the status you have. They care about the celebrity you have. It doesn't mean they are ready to ride and die for you. All powerful men are surrounded by beautiful women. It comes with the territory. It's your job. It's your job to practice discipline, to study those women, evaluate those women, and see if any of them are worth being with you for the long haul. That's real rap. Most people who come to you romantically or revolutionarily, most people who come to you romantically or revolutionarily, they're not there to help you or the people. I'm telling you, I live it. I have lived it and I still live it. They are there for you. And never let people into your personal life. That is a no-no. That is a no-no. Your team does not know where you sleep. No, they don't. They don't know your children. They don't know your parents. No, you do not let them into your personal life, because if they become a traitor, if they become an informant, if they become an agent provocateur, your family will be the first target. Your family will be the first target. You don't let them into your personal space. You don't do that. And you can always tell the biggest opportunists, because they want to get into your personal life before they have earned the right to know your business. They are always preoccupied with your personal life, who you're dating, where you live. They want to meet your kids. No, this is the business of African redemption. You don't need to know my family. You don't need to know where I live. You don't need to know my children. You better separate your personal from your political. You better separate your personal from your political. Something put it on my soul today to put that out there because it may benefit. I love my family. God bless you all. Stay ready for the revolution, and African people will win. You have to believe it before you can achieve it. You have to believe it before you can see it. I am not depressed. I am not despondent. I am not of low spirit. I am of high vibration, because I know African people will win.